Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I think we're good. Hello. Hey, Alijan.
Hey Jude, how are you? How's everything?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm in the office now, the
Ah,
Istanbul headquarters. Yeah,
nice. HQ Istanbul.
yeah, it is the HQ.
Nice, nice. Awesome. I mean, we have a really great agenda, and I think
Hmm.
we're gonna take most of the time so we can
Hmm.
get started. Just quick introduction. Hello, everyone. We got some people coming up and exciting. I see some familiar names, which is always great. And excited for everyone to be here for this session for today.
Hmm.
Just a little intro. So we're gonna talk about the AI assistant and how it came about and how to make it more seamless and include it to your support and your adoption. But this is a little bit of a, I guess, behind the scenes. It's a very exclusive webinar. I think it's more of an exclusive webinar rather than just like a workshop. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, we're gonna say, also share some insights about how we came up with the idea, and not just the tool itself, but the process that brought us here about the AI system and everything.
So cool.
It is
Honestly, like
really,
I
yeah,
don't even know like the whole story, so I'm very excited to hear about that. So, just a brief introduction, everyone. This is Alijan. He is our head of product. He's been with the user guiding since it was a little baby, so he knows the whole
yeah.
process and the whole journey. So yeah, as Alijan has mentioned, we're gonna learn more about like the evolution of user guiding and what led it to you know adding this AI assistant. He's going to tell us more about what it's designed to do and how we can make the most out of it for your own products. We're going to keep things interactive as usual, so feel free to join in the chat. We have some polls, which I will activate one right now, just some fun polls as well. There
Yes.
we go.
So before we start,
Hmm.
actually, did you just release a poll?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
it's
stopped it
running
now.
right now. Okay,
Okay,
cool.
okay. Let me
Yeah,
read.
it's about their relationship with AI, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I also need to ask something different, actually. I know all of us, maybe most of us, are currently using some AI software in our daily routines as an individual, as a person who is working in the product field. But there's something else I wonder, actually. Do you, like any of you, utilize some AI tools inside your products that is being uh, displayed to your end users? Like,
Hmm.
not, yeah, not for your self improvement or like daily agenda, but something that is that your users can interact inside the interface of your tool. Like, if there's any, can you write the names inside the chat? If not, you can simply write no. But yeah.
Good question. So, what is it that you hope to like understand from that?
Actually, like, I know as individuals, we are becoming more and more like familiar with AI, dependent to like AI's capabilities in our daily routines. But it's sometimes a bit of hesitation to put AI in front of our users, because like we don't know how it's going to react, behave, solve problems, or cause more problems. So
Mm,
yeah, we actually only use AI for UX and UI and to generate guide videos in multiple language. That's cool. Yeah, that's a great way to utilize AI. Actually, we also do the same.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It feels a
It's
little bit
very
risky.
risky. Yeah.
Yeah,
But like I think the first step was like using it for like marketing because it's like the least risk, right? And you
yeah,
can always um it you need to like double check it, and plus you're not just like releasing it as like a wild animal to the end users,
yeah.
right?
That's the problem behind. Yeah, like to have something that is going to be like visible for your end users and they can interact with it without your control over
Mm,
it. It sounds a little bit risky, but it's useful. It's
yeah.
useful. Okay.
Um Let me actually I want you to answer this question as well. So like how
Mhm.
is your relationship with AI now? Like it's been in the foreground, I think, in the last like at least like 3 years, right? So
Mhm.
what was your journey with that?
Actually, like I can compare myself with only myself, my past version. Let's say in the last 2 years, if I compare my relationship today with my relationship 1 year ago or 2 years ago, I could simply say that I'm trying to embrace it fully. But there are some parts, sometimes that I just use the AI tools just to be able to use the AI tools, just to learn
Mm.
about them, because of my fear of missing out sometimes. But in our routine operations with the design team and product management team, it takes up a huge space, let me say. In the like very usual operations, we are heavily utilizing the AI capabilities at the moment.
And I bet like you would see some other examples or maybe other product managers that would share some tips for that, and you would probably implement it, or is
Yeah,
this
maybe their favorite process to run with AI, or maybe their favorite AI tool. For example, what I love is going over the feature requests coming from our support team and success team with AI tools for little tips during our prioritization phase. But like, is there any favorite use case that you utilize the tools for
for
as a product
myself?
person? Maybe for
Oh,
you, for the audience.
it's for the audience, yeah.
Yeah,
It's extremely versatile, and no one knows it's we can't even see its full capabilities right now, but it's definitely like that ongoing conversation.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
Alican, I mean, just as I said, like we can kick things off right now, and everyone in the chat, please keep your
Mhm.
questions coming. Then we will have like a Q&A session. But for now, to kick things off, I'll hand it to you, Alican, and I'm very interested to hear what you're gonna say.
Okay, let's go. So yeah, am I able to control the slides?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It should be showing the agenda
Mhm.
section right now. So yeah, as you said, we're going to talk about our journey and why we built the AI assistant and how it actually works. And there's several ways to build a self-service ecosystem with user guiding using our features. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. And there are some real life examples and its impact and some takes from our team about the future of in-app support. It's going to be a fun presentation, I guess. So, like, if you guys have any questions during the slides, just shoot it. I'll be really happy to reply your questions within the slides or at the end of the presentation. But yeah, let's begin. I think, yeah, we have a comment right now. I think it makes life easier in terms of feature adaptation. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So I assume you're using something like a product analytics tool that tells you about people's interactions with the features and with some AI insights, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Okay. Next slide. So as you may know, maybe not, but user guiding started as a tool that helps you create walkthroughs inside the apps, the product tours, which we call the guides. So it was just a Chrome extension that helped people create step-by-step guides. Back then, it was a really hype topic, and we found out that like we are really capable of providing this functionality to our users. But then we actually noticed that the requirement is not just the step-by-step tours, but there's this huge concept which we call now the digital adoption. So people who are building products needed more ways to make sure that their end users are experiencing the values that they're offering. So to be able to do that, actually, sometimes most of them are dependent on their technical colleagues. So we decided to uh, remove this dependency and make them set them free in terms of creating in-app experiences that will help their users experience the value proposition in a deeper way, in a more efficient way, faster way. So the main goal behind creating this digital adoption platform is actually empowering the product people to employ, display those new experiences inside the product without relying on their technical colleagues. So
So
this
since
is,
day
yeah,
one, it was like no code. Like it
yeah,
was
since
always,
day one.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a challenge, but this is the part that makes user guiding special and fun at the end of the day.
And when you guys started, like this was 2017,
Yeah, around
18,
18, the very early
18.
days of 2018. Yeah.
Yeah, and I started with UserGuiding like 4 years ago, and even from then till now, the field changed so much.
Mhm.
So just, I mean, we're gonna talk about this more, but like that evolution of it, it hasn't even been like 10 years. The evolution of like
Exactly.
where you guys started, and then from till today. Um, just looking back at it, how would you kind of, let's say, define that change or that evolution?
So actually, yeah, we talk about this too much. Let's say it started as a simple solution, then turned into a product. Now it's turning into a platform which is capable of running multiple use cases at the same time and make those connections within use cases, which makes one single use case or one single solution much more valuable. Because, like, if you offer just one solution, it's, let's say, one value point. But if you can offer two solutions at the same time integrated into each other, it's more than two value points. It's sometimes five value points. So we are now looking for new ways to utilize more use cases, more solutions in an integrated, harmonized way, so that people get more value out of them.
And when you started as just like the step-by-step guides, even back then, it was still like revolutionary in some sense.
Yes,
There weren't a lot of tools doing
yes,
the same thing.
yeah. Like the most exciting parts, this is what our users used to say, is the fact that they were actually able to work on their real production environment product and create those guides, this experience layer on top of their actual application. So we kind of provided the freedom that they were looking for. Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
now we are trying to turn user guiding into a new, uh, like put it into a new phase where it can actually provide solutions reactively, proactively, and in a more smart way. I'm going to talk about this later on, but this is what we are trying to do right now because as time passes, as we get to know more users, more end users, and more people using our product, we started to realize that like every single user, every single end user has a different preference when it comes to their learning paths inside the products. So some people, they like to be nudged, they like to be guided. Some people prefer the free discovery. Some people only use the tools when they are really stuck. Otherwise, they just try to interact with the core product itself. So noticing those different needs actually brought us here. So we are trying to create something that will help all of them. Uh, yeah. So this support and adoption thing is actually connected to each other because like as humanity, as people working on software products, when you check the very initial motivation of turning into like software products instead of like the traditional service businesses or tailor-made solutions, it's about scalability. So we are able to offer more value for more end users with a relatively less resource set or relatively less time, efforts, and everything. But there is one thing that is lagging, that is support. So the support operations are, let's say, lately, not for the last 5, 10 years, let's say they're getting better, but it's the hardest part to scale. because they require like real-time human interaction. So there should be someone taking care of your problems somehow. So let's say you have one support person in your team, which is able to take care of 5 customers at the same time. So if you go and get 10 customers, you're gonna need 2 support people. And if it's 15, you're gonna need 3 support people because it's not scalable. So our goal here was to make things much more scalable for the support teams all around the world, so that actually this AI thing uh, is going to serve to its purpose. So the keyword behind was scalability. We decided to scale the support operations, the human touch, inside the software products, inside the in-app support experiences. So we noticed that as your company grows, the ticket volume also is growing and people's expectations are also growing. So there should be a way to make use of this growth in terms of like support operations. And actually, as you may imagine, there are like lots of repeating how-to questions, like the same question coming from different users at very similar stages inside your product. They're asking the exactly same thing, but they're using different keywords. It's actually sometimes like you are not able to understand what they're talking about because they have their own naming of the features or own naming of the functionality inside your product. So having one single onboarding flow, which is not very personalized, is a little bit risky because like you don't know how they're using their product, your product, or you don't know what actually they are looking for or which industry they are coming from and how they name your features, your functionalities. It's always so surprising for us as well. And we also noticed that, like as I told you before, the people they start to prefer more on-demand in-app self-service operations. Like let's say if you have a widget that pops up and that tells them, oh, would you like to do this? Would you like to do that? They're mostly allergic to this kind of stuff lately. I'm also one of them. I don't like pop-ups appearing in the middle of screen, but I like to see an experience created for me when I actually need help, when I demand help, or when I demand support. So we noticed all of those trends and we decided to come up with a new product that will help us resolve them all. And actually, there's a framework that I'd like to show you, which I find really useful. So this is like a scale about the problem, the complexity of the problem that you're solving, and the level of sophistication of your customers. So if it's a low complex problem, easy problem, let's say, and your customers are pretty sophisticated, then what you offer is a self-service solution, which we call the do-it-yourself way of offering solutions. But like for the different aspects in this chart, there are different approaches. So there's this thing which we call do it with you, the strategic onboarding. And there's this other one for low customer sophistication and high problem complexity, which we call the do it for you. So we are basically the people working for your company is taking care of your customers and doing things for them. And there's also another approach, which we call the guided do it yourself or basic guidance. So we noticed that, okay, somehow we can take care of the problems which requires self-service and some basic guidance. But then we actually decided to look for new ways to resolve do it for you queries or do it with you requirements somehow, maybe not fully, but until a certain point. Like we try to get ourselves involved in those approaches as well.
So what my follow-up question would be,
Mhm.
how would you like visualize what a DIY self-service would look like, or like a guided um, DIY.
Mhm.
So, and where would the AI system like fall on all of them, depending on how they're being used or what complements them, or um, would it fall into like a specific one?
Yeah, actually, like all of these approaches, you can divide them into small parts, and you can get your AI assistant to tackle some of those little parts inside these different approaches. Sometimes it's not able to resolve them fully or provide solutions for all of these approaches, but up until some point, it can actually help. It can help you scale your operations. For example, like for a do-it-yourself service, you can think of it like very generic product, uh, and like maybe creating a forms in Google Forms. Like most of the internet users are able to do something like this, and it's not so complex. It's something that we are really familiar with. So we basically do it ourselves. And
Mm,
if you're stuck, like the questions we may ask will probably be answered by the people around us. So we're not going to seek special assistance, or some documentation is going to solve our issues. But again, if it's not a very complex but not a very common problem, and if you're not experienced about it, then we might need some basic guidance, which user guidance jumps in here. Like we
mm.
can come up with very different solutions for these guidance operations inside your app.
Right, and then like on the other end of the spectrum is like the
Yeah,
guided or like the basic guidance one would be, I would say,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
probably
Like for
more really manual, or even like with human assistance, no?
yes, they're mainly manual, and there are some parts which cannot be generic for all customers. They're more sophisticated. I mean, like more complex products with more fields, more options inside. Maybe all users, they're not getting the same value out of it. They're not using the same features. So what you do is here, like you assign a customer support team member for each customer, and somehow like you create content, you do face-to-face in-person sessions to be able to help them, to be able to teach the product and how to use it, how to get value out of it. But again, here maybe you're not able to solve everything with uh, agents inside the product or onboarding experiences or widgets inside the product, but some parts of it are easily like you can take care of them, you can tackle them in an easy way, mostly the repeating parts of these, and that will create much more resources for you in terms of like time and effort to come up with a more scalable support experience. Let's say like if you have 3 people in your success team, and one of them is actually preparing the self-serve experience, and 2 of them is actually taking care of customers in a traditional way. Uh, since you start generating more self-serve experiences, more self-serve materials, at the end of the day, one of those people will also be able to join the other person to create more like self-serve experiences, and they'll have more resources and more free time to deal with more complex problems inside the product instead of doing exactly the same presentation for every single customer.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the next slide is about, yeah, I told you about this. So we found out that people have different learning paths. Some people prefer the free discovery, some people prefer the guided flows. And we noticed that there's a need for on-demand availability. And sometimes you cannot cover your platform 24/7 with your support people because you have customers from all around the world. And actually, we noticed that like if we can place something that will interact with the customer, whenever they need someone to talk to or some questions. This would be a very valuable data gold mine. So like it will have all the customer queries inside, all their questions, all their namings. And at the end of the day, after a certain period of time, this thing may turn into something really valuable uh, for the rest of your operations inside the company. So that's why we decided to build the AI assistant this way. And the next slide is about, this is about something else, but I care about this thing a lot because this is lately a huge trend. Hey, I assume you guys have heard about the concept of the conversational UIs, like the interfaces where people communicate with the product by me using like their language, their speech, their conversations, just like two people communicating with each other.
Yeah.
Instead of having an interface with filters, with drop downs, with I don't know, all other UI elements, you just have the conversational UI, like Siri that we have in Apple. Yeah. So maybe you have also noticed, Jude, but this conversational UI it has started to take up a larger space in the interface of web applications lately. So it was something really small. Then some apps, some web applications try to apply little larger versions of it. And at the end of the day, we have now products that only consist of a conversational UI and nothing else on the interface.
It already
So
took over.
yeah, it did took over. So uh, for the rest of the products, maybe like products like ours, not like fully AI tools where you can communicate with prompts and everything. We are adapting to that phase, and to be able to adapt to it, AI assistant is a great way to start actually. So it's the
Okay.
easiest way to switch to this conversational UI, let's say revolution, and try to understand if this is something that is useful and valuable for you or not. And it's the easiest way.
I was really surprised when one day, like, I was like logging into like Google Sheets, and then all of a sudden I saw like the right side of Gemini being like, I like even I've never seen like Google Sheets or Google Docs they change any of the interface, but then they added it, and that was a little bit of an identifier of not like everyone is adding this like conversational AI.
Exactly. Yeah. Even Google is doing it right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what exactly is the AI assistant? I think you guys already know about it, but it's like a AI-powered support agent that is available inside your app 24/7. And it can offer like multilingual assistance to your users. And actually, it is able to reply to your users' questions in a written way, but it can also utilize different types of content while replying your users' questions. And it has a great reporting interface where you can track what's happening, what type of conversations they are having with your AI assistant. And the other great thing about our AI assistant is that it's not written here, but it only charges you when there's a resolution. So if it's not able to resolve your ticket,
It's on
uh,
us.
yeah, it's on us, guys.
Basically.
That's the best part about our AI assistant. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like your win is our win type of thing.
exactly. So how it works, actually, it's pretty easy. We try to make it as easy as possible. Uh, so you just need to introduce some content to it so it can learn and come up with new ways to reply your users' questions. And I'm going to talk about the details about those sources later on. And let's continue with the other slide. Yeah. So setting up the AI system, as I said, you need to introduce the sources, and you also need to configure the experience. And the next thing you need to do, maybe in a regular basis, weekly, bi-weekly. Our team is doing it weekly. You need to check the responses and optimize the sources, which will eventually increase the resolution rate. So you'll have to take care of less support tickets manually.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
at
it
the
like
end of
feeds itself basically. You add some resources, and then it tries to answer some questions, and then for the questions that it could not answer, the strategic thing to do is to create an article in the knowledge base, or like add any information, right?
exactly. So like maybe I can show you how we are doing it real quick.
Yes.
So yeah, guys, we have this reporting section for our AI assistant, and you can see this is the one that belongs to our playground. So you can see which queries are resolved and which are not resolved, and the thumbs up and thumbs down that you're receiving. And you can check what people are asking about their queries and everything. And if there's an unresolved issue, like the user is not happy or the answer is not quite enough, you can always come up with new sources, mostly the text snippets. This is what we use to educate the AI assistant further and to provide it more resources to be able to make it well equipped when there's this same question coming from a different user in the future. So it's a great way to start increasing your resolution rate, which actually we display here. So you come here, check the conversations, create new replies, and your resolution rate goes up, basically. Yeah.
We do have one question actually now.
Mhm.
Munzer is asking if it can be trained on like by using like screenshots, GIFs, or videos.
Yeah, not right now. This is something we are working on. But let me tell you what I'm doing. Actually, I'm using some other AI tools, and I show my GIFs and my screenshots and my videos to them, and they create a script for me, like a snippet, by checking out those content, and I upload this snippet to user guiding.
Sima
So
added the
yeah, right now you can
software
only
as
use
well.
snippets and PDFs. But this is something we are also thinking about improving about the AI system. Yeah.
I do have a question for you, Alijan, actually. When you were
Mhm,
showing us the panel, for
mhm,
those, I mean, it's a great practice that, for any unresolved or, yeah, basically like unresolved issues, you would go and optimize the answer for the future,
mhm,
um, possible future questions, similar questions. For the current user, what
mhm.
are like the next steps or like the call to actions that you would recommend for the ones that were not able to get their answers resolved?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. So let me share my screen real quick once again. So, like you're able to introduce a variety of different sources to your AI assistant. But when it comes to, let's say, they ask something uh, that is really detailed and hard for the AI assistant to reply. What we do here is that we have all the configurations available for you. So you can assign a fallback action.
Mm.
You can decide what your user guiding AI assistant is going to do when it's stuck, when it's not able to reply people's questions, actually. So it could be going to a URL, or we have this option which we call the run JavaScript. So using this option, if you have like a human chat agent available inside your product, you can trigger that software. Or
Mm.
if you have a like ticketing platform, you can make your users visit that platform and leave you tickets which will be taken care of by real human agents. So like you can do pretty much anything. And this fallback action is like really important, especially during the early days of your AI assistant journey, when you don't have so much written content to provide. It will help guide your users to the relevant place when it's stuck. But by the time passes, the usage of your fallback action is actually decreasing, and your users are better able to find replies through the AI assistant only.
Mm. And I would say this is a great way of like integrating the ISIS into like the current support structure, as you said, like scale instead of
Yeah,
replace, right? It's not
yeah,
supposed to
yeah.
replace, it's just supposed to scale and optimize.
Exactly. Like maybe you're not looking for something that will fully replace the existing structure, but placing the AI assistant on the front line is a huge win.
Hmm.
Yeah, it will help you get rid of the repeating stuff immediately. And again, like you can add sources and you can customize its design. And actually, you can also modify its prompt. Uh, by default, our AI assistant knows that it's an AI assistant running into a software tool, interacting with the tool's end users in a friendly and supportive way. But if there's something you like to add, uh, you can add extra prompts so that your AI assistant will start behaving accordingly. This is something we also utilize. And again, as I told you, like we check the reports, we check the chats inside the conversations, and based on those conversations findings, we update the sources, and sometimes we update our prompt as well. Maybe
Mm.
there's something wrong about the prompt. We also go update the prompt and try different versions of it to find the best version. And it's kind of like a never-ending hustle for us, which is quite fun. Like every week, our support team comes up with the numbers, and we try to improve those numbers. And it's really fun to see that whenever we take a action, the numbers are improving. This is
Yeah.
this is yeah, this is really fun.
Regarding the prompt modifier, I think you know this as well, but I've been having like user interviews with the, as you know, like the AI users that
Mhm,
we have, just to learn about, how they've been using it, how effective it is.
mhm.
And one like common request I've been getting is a little bit more about like the prompt modifier. And people are like, what is the best way, or what should we add here? Is it requesting like a huge like a coded version of as a prompt, or should it just be simple?
Yeah, exactly. You just need to be simple. It's not let's say, it's not something technical. We mostly use it for the like personality traits that you like to assign to your AI assistant to make it sound more friendly, more professional, or the way it welcomes users, or the way it acts when there's a problem that it cannot solve. So those little touch points, those little details that you like to manage with the AI assistant. Otherwise, it actually knows why it's there and how it is being used and who is using it and how it's managed. So you don't need something very detailed
Mm.
to use the prompt modifier, basically. Yeah.
I'm thinking if would probably differ for like that graph or like that chart that you showed us, if it is a
Mhm.
very complex tool with very complex user base versus a very simple tool with a very like non-tech savvy user base. Would the prompt be different? Like, for example, if it's like if one platform for like very heavy
Mhm.
scientific research and it's all doctors and researchers, then it's probably going to like you can enable it to use like mm, terminologies that they would probably understand instead of, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, like this is a really great question, Jude. The resolution rate mostly is dependent on the quality of content that you create for the AI
Mm,
system. So, like, it doesn't matter which industry it's performing in, or the let's say level of tech savviness of the end users. The rate of repeating simple questions are quite the same for each product. I mean, like the ratio, not the number, not the
mm,
quantity, but the rate in a total set of questions that are being asked. Some of it, sometimes most of it, are repeating simple stuff. So if you're well prepared, the resolution rate is like dependent on the content that you create for the knowledge base. And actually, I got some best practices for the accuracy and adoption of your AI system by your users. So what you need to have, as I said, a well-structured knowledge base. It's not just for the user guiding's AI assistant, but if you want to be well prepared for the upcoming or already here AI era, you need to have a well-documented knowledge base. It should be organized in a clear way, and actually, it's nice to look at this in a user's perspective as well, instead of just writing manuals, how to do this, how to do that. You can look at things from the user standpoint, and you can have different levels of content. For example, like getting started content for the ones who has just started, or troubleshooting content for the ones who has come until a certain point and stuck in a upper level compared to the other users. So it's a great way. This is what our support team has been doing lately, which we are really thankful, and it's really working out. So and also, actually, we also have a different feature which we call the knowledge base for this purpose only. It helps you create a well-structured knowledge base, both for your end users, for your internal operations, and whenever you need to feed something like this AI assistant, maybe now, maybe in the future, you're definitely going to need a knowledge base which has like very clear information inside. And you may want to include some extra data in it, the categories, related features, some keywords. This also helps AI retrieve the information. And providing examples. So this is something we do not using the knowledge base, but using the snippets inside the sources section of the AI assistant. So we generate more examples coming from our users as PDF snippet files inside our AI assistant sources, which is quite useful. And that helps the AI assistant reference real problems and their solutions provided by our team. And again, inside your knowledge base, if you have the chance, this is something you can do in our knowledge base tool. You need to have some extra space for FAQs coming from real support tickets. So not just articles, but a FAQ section is also very valuable. So if you do all of this, you will be prepared for any type of AI implementation inside your product. And this is some other tips. This is what our support team is doing lately on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. Like every single week, every Monday, we talk about this. They update the content. If there's something new about the product, they go immediately update it. And among the sources that the user guiding AI assistant is using, the information coming from the knowledge base is the one that is being updated most frequently. So we immediately update it whenever there's a change. But if you introduce a different third party, like external URL, it's being updated in a weekly basis. And if you use snippets, they're also being updated immediately. So like using the knowledge base and the snippets is the best way to have up-to-date information for your AI assistant. And again, you need to check the performance and especially look at the unresolved questions coming from your users. This is really useful. And you need to analyze the customer satisfaction, like the thumbs up and the thumbs down ratings. Sometimes a question is being resolved, but not in a good way, not in a way that satisfies the customer. So you can also able to locate this by looking at the chat history. And again, you should also test your AI assistant with some questions that you have in your mind or that you think might going to be asked by our users in the future, and update and add new sources to be able to reply those questions inside
Yeah,
your
and
AI system. Yeah.
for the ones that don't know, inside the panel there is a sample or like a test example of the like
Yes.
a testing widget, right? So they can test it, and the resolutions they don't. Yeah, let's add that here.
Yeah. So this doesn't count as resolutions. This is totally free. You upload your resources and you can start testing your AI assistant right here before going live. Exactly.
Yes, and if you already have the like any of, I want to go back to this slide actually that we
The
kind of
slide.
skipped. No, sorry, the
Oh,
one
yeah, this
before.
one. Yeah, I was going to talk about this. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I mean, yeah, like I was wondering more about like, but it has to do a little bit more of like the sources that I wanted to ask, but because you do have, you know, you have the capability of adding multiple resources, and as a software company or honestly like any industry at this point, you need to have a knowledge base and you need to have like help articles. So you're already halfway through for that. So integrating it, you know, it doesn't take any time, and basically that's all you need to do, right? Just add a couple of resources. And as far as I remember as well from the webinar that we had before, I believe it was with CMI, where
Mhm.
one thing that I asked her was, you know, what's like one thing that you would um, give as like a place to get started when integrating the AI assistant. And she said something like really eye-opening, which is like don't think about like perfection, where you want to create everything and have answers for everything. It's just you need to just get started, have maybe 3, 4, 5, 10 articles, and then after that, when you start getting questions, then you have some ideas about what type of articles you want to create. And it's like a loop, as you said. You have, if you add even like the metadata, this knowledge base articles could even be as a source for, you know, getting for marketing, for SEO, for search. So when it came to the sources, my question was this, Alijan, because you're able to add many sources, right?
Mhm.
If there was at some point any conflicting information, how would it react? And of course, like, you need to double check, you need to do all of this. But I think with the testing, you'll be able to kind of see, or is there a way to pinpoint, or is there a hierarchy even in the sources of retaining?
There is actually like Sima, if you're around here, correct me if I'm wrong, but the snippets that we provide are the most important ones, and then comes the knowledge base articles that we have.
Mm,
So snippets are like the little adjustments on top of the content that you have, because like they're like really snippets, little pieces of information that you somehow tell your AI assistant that, okay, like forget about the rest. This is the way you need to reply to that specific question. So first we check the snippets, and then the AI assistant, the knowledge base articles, I'm
mm.
sorry. Yeah. And then comes the rest, the PDF files, the third-party information that you provide through the links, URLs, and everything. But yeah, snippets are the top priority.
Okay. And how does that go with like what we have here, like building the self-service ecosystem?
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm also one of those people who is somehow not very happy with having a lot of widgets inside your product's
Mhm.
interface. Sometimes we do also have it inside user guiding. We try to fix it. But what you need to do is you need a way to tell your users that, okay, guys, whenever you need help, this is the section you need to go. And to be able to offer this section, actually, the best way is to use the resource center. And because it's actually a resource center, it can hold every single type of content that you're offering inside your app. Also, the user guiding content that you have prepared for your users. And it has the ability to keep everything under the same roof and under a certain section inside your product. So it's just one single widget that will help you like rule them all. Yeah.
Mm.
Let me share my screen real quick. So it's
Personally,
this,
it's yeah. I was gonna
it's
say like
this
personally, it's my favorite user guiding tool for sure.
exactly. So it has different tabs. The home tab where you can have like third-party URLs, additional resources, and you can place your checklist inside this resource center as well. It can also display your latest product updates article. You can also switch to the product update tab, or you can basically switch to the knowledge base tab. Like these are all user guiding features, and you don't need a separate widget for all of them. And what you can do here is that you can also include the AI assistant tab here. Maybe we can see it here, but the one we are using, yeah. Let me show you inside the widgets, resource centers. So inside the editor, under the tab section, yeah, you can also enable the AI assistant tab for your resource center. So it's going to look like this. Or if they ask for something, they can directly click on the Ask AI Assistant button and get replies inside the AI Assistant tab right here. So we highly recommend using the resource center to have a more structured way of having those in-app support operations. Yeah,
For the whole ecosystem.
exactly.
Awesome. So it all integrates together. Like you build one, you build another, like it just all goes in a loop motion.
Yeah, that's what we love about the resource center. And it can also like bring some external information from different websites inside the product. So your users, they don't need to leave your product and display this information inside the resource center, which is cool. And yeah, some real life examples. Actually, our team, we are getting 40% fewer tickets when it comes to like tickets handled by human agents in our company. So in this extra time, they have more resources to create quality knowledge-based articles or quality introductory videos or some, let's say, best practices articles or some how-to articles for our users, and also to feed our AI assistant as well. So like the time you save is actually causing more time to save in the future. Because like in that time you save, you start generating more content for the AI system. And it's something really useful in the long term as well. It's exponential. And we are actually, yeah, ours is around 55% resolution rate, but the worst I've seen so far is around like 49, maybe 50% resolution rate lately. And there are some best versions as well, more than 70% resolution rate. Which is kind of cool because like you start with 45, 50% and it keeps increasing over the time. You provide more resources, more relevant snippets, or update your articles, and you can see that number is going high. And actually, yeah, Gabby lately talked to the team from Sistemas, and they said they have around 80% resolution rate with user guiding AI assistant, which is crazy. But they seem to be very happy about it because like they kind of had the chance to get rid of all those repeating questions for certain operations inside their product, which also makes us more happy. And let's say we we are more motivated to bring more functionality into our AI assistant and come up with more features to add into our AI assistant. And I'm quite sure like people watching this, if you start using it, you'll also notice results like this one. And we will have webinars with you just like this one. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. There was I don't know if you remember this, Alijan, but we had a webinar a couple of weeks ago, or like a couple of months ago, with Segmentify, Melissa,
Yes.
and she brought in like the best example of the AI assistant that blew all of our minds, if you remember. And I'll add the link later for anyone that wants to watch it. But essentially, she said that she already had like a lot of the knowledge base. They fed the AI assistant information, and Segmentify is basically this like e-commerce platform. They're B2B, and they have a very huge user base. So what they did was they were testing the AI assistant. They're like, okay, let's see like if it works, if it doesn't. And then at some point when they were looking through the resolutions, they stumbled upon one of the resolutions, one of the conversations, and one of them was this their client, their user, they provided a very complex question of like, for example, how can I get achieve this in this amount of time, in this amount of resources, da 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 da. Da. It was very detailed prompt, and then, what she had said was the AI assistant, it provided an answer that was better than any human answer possible that they could have given, and since then, it was, like, really mind-blowing to see the capability, because from what I know as well is the AI engine that we use is ChatGPT or OpenAI, correct?
Yeah, yeah, we are using OpenAI's, let's say, a foundation to be able to offer this solution. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's still like the language that it speaks in, it would still be it's the one that all of us are using. So that type of question, I think it was like it needs to be like she even said like we need to frame it and we need to add it to the wall because it was uh, a real example of time saving, but also it's not just like time, but quality support that they're able to provide.
But I think they're also being humble about this story because, like, if the AI assistant is able to reply such complex query coming from an end user, they should have somehow well-prepared documentation
Mm.
that the AI assistant can refer to. So if you're prepared for it, AI assistant can do anything for you, basically.
I think they
So
had hundreds
yeah,
of articles, like knowledge base
yes,
articles, and
yeah,
any use case, anything that they stumbled on, as you said, like they could add it as a snippet, or they can create some type of page and then integrate it. So, um,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So as we coming closer to the end, actually, like some takes from our team for the future of in-app support. It's something huge and it's gonna get even bigger in the future. This is what we think. And actually, like right now, we are able to offer like generic chatbots, but we assume that we also observe that uh, there'll be some agents that will be able to provide personalized answers based on the information coming from the user and the user session and the things that they're trying to do inside your product and the information that they generate inside their account. So it's not going to be just a how to do this, how to do that AI assistant. Instead, it will start providing like real-time results and real-time reports depending on the information that the user has inside their account. And it will again, it's quite similar to the first one, but will help users personalize the path and the experience, the onboarding experience. We can see this lately. There are some tools trying to somehow place themselves into that business. We will check and we will see if they're going to succeed. And user guiding will also eventually come up with more solutions for more personalized onboarding flows supported with AI. And actually, like we see this already, and user guiding is also preparing itself for this one as well. So it's not just questions and answers, but it's going to be questions and actions really soon. So instead of just telling people how to do this, how to do that, the assistant, the agents inside the product will be able to take real actions. And these are our takes for the future of in-app support. But like, if there's anything else you'd like to share, please share it with us so that we know what's coming in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I dropped a link here for the next webinar as well. Alijan, thank you so much for all of like the conversation, the insights, the best practices. It's has been honestly like really eye-opening, and I think a lot of people can even me personally, like I feel more confident even in like using the AI assistant, even if I, for a platform, if I were to have one. It seems very simple, but also very highly impactful. And we don't have any questions because I think you've answered a lot of questions that I had in mind. Tiago said, here, we can remove this for a second.
Yeah,
Uh, all right, that's what we initially expect when using the AI in our application to reduce the number of tickets. That's exactly the first step for it. But then, as you said, it's gonna grow and it's gonna be more.
exactly.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Alijan. Last takeaways that you wanna tell our audience here?
Actually, like you just share something, how to prepare for the holiday season with user guiding. We released a really cool feature, the banners, and we try to be fast because it's holiday season really soon, and the banners are one of the best ways to prepare for the campaigns and promotions inside your product. So it's gonna be a really fun webinar, I guess.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone for being here. Like if you have any questions, you can contact us. We can talk about your AI implementations or the way you utilize the AI assistant. Our support team is always here. And yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you,
Thanks.
Jude.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Alijan. All right. Have a good day. Bye
goodbye.
bye.